I'm on.
I stare at the place where the path should be. This can't be right. I scan left and right along the forest edge, but there are only trees. What, I say? Where? With a shaky hand I use the spear to lift the hanging fronds of fern and ivy where the path used to be. I take a sharp breath. There's no sign that anyone has ever passed this way before, but I ran down here myself only 20 minutes ago, didn't I? I peer into the forest shadows, breathing fast. It all looks different somehow, darker, greener, thick, and with briars and tangleweed. Even the air is strange. It has a heavy, flowery stink, too sickly sweet, like mouldy rottenness. I try to breathe through my mouth as I stare into the twisting undergrowth, searching desperately. It's as if the path has been swallowed up by the forest. Ha, 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 taunts the bird from high in the canopy. The forest squawks and buzzes and hums with noises like I've never heard before, even in midsummer. An animal shrieks. Shriek rises from somewhere ahead of me, like something in pain. I freeze. What even was that? Mandale Forest is like my home, but suddenly nothing is familiar, and I'm afraid. I look back over my shoulder at the boy, still lying where he fell. I glance down at the pale spear in my hand. I listen to the harsh chutter of a bird I don't recognise. A strange thought strikes me then. Maybe that boy's not the one who's lost. Maybe I am. Panic presses down on me like a cold weight as I walk to the river's edge, my head spinning. I know this place, but I don't know it. How can that be? The river looks more or less the same, but there's no bridge. I can't believe I didn't notice that before. How can a whole bridge just disappear? I gaze upstream and my heart leaps. There is something I recognise. I race along the beach to the stepping stones where the river runs shallowest, and I rock hop until I'm at the highest boulder, the one that's right in the middle of the river. We call it the Pinnacle, Beaky, Lamont and me. The Pinnacle is almost as tall as a spirit stone, but less smooth and more craggy, easier to climb. And as I scramble up, it feels just as it should. The footholds and handholds are all in their normal places. I stand on a flat bit at the top of the pinnacle, staring round me. What is going on? All I see is endless green, too much green. Not even a bench or a signpost, or a glimpse of rooftops above the tree line. Nothing is right. But then my heart soars. High up on the hill behind the beach I see the spirit stone, right where it always is, like an old friend. I turn and face the other way across the river from where the boy lies, hopping as I peer through the ripples, thickness of trees. And yes, there it is, half hidden in the undergrowth. I can just make out the open black mouth of Dead Man's Cave. This is still my forest after all. Well, it is, and it isn't. A breeze trembles through the leaves, the softest whisper. The hairs on my neck prickle. Suddenly an idea strikes me. What if I've entered another version of my world, gone through a portal or something into another dimension, like in Doctor Who? Then I stop myself. Don't be ridiculous, Charlie, I mutter, and I almost smile, because without even meaning to, I'm doing an impression of grumpy Mr. Pascoe, our science teacher. Mr. Pascoe's about 95, and he doesn't like me one bit. Charlie is somewhat prone to flights of fantasy, he said to Dad on Parents' Evening only last week. I took it as a compliment. Parents' Evening. Dad. Mum. I twist and turn my head, frantically searching for something familiar, as panic rises all fluttery in my chest. Mum and Dad are going to absolutely kill me. I squint my eyes towards where the hospital should be, but it's not there. Of course it's not there. No hospital, no town. Just endless, endless, forever forest. And on the horizon, purple-grey clouds are bubbling, ominous like a storm's on its way. I stand on the pinnacle and try to think. What would Lamont do? He's got common sense, as Mum always says. I make a list in my head, adding up the facts like Lamont would. Number 1. Right, now, for whatever crazy reason I'm lost. Everything is different, and I don't know how to make it normal again. 2. The only other person I've seen since everything changed is that boy. 3. But the boy is injured. He needs help. 4. But I need help. I need to get back home. The facts don't even sound like facts, and they certainly don't add up. They just spiral all about the place like a big old mess. What am I going to do?